What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Forgot to turn my mic on there for a second. Alright, so last we left off, we had actually just finished the Nameless Ruins, but I took like 20 minutes off screen to get our army together so we can go clear this garrison without it being a whole hassle. Because we have to go help the Hell Knights at the Reliable Redoubt, which requires us to clear this garrison, as we can't pass it as a party until it's gone. And there we are. We did lose 51 footmen and 2 archers, though, because they did not get replenished. But that's fine. And then these are a little strong for us right now, so we don't want to keep going that way. But we'll move our army back. I'll go ahead and clear this out real quick, too. We get a crossbow for doing that one. And we'll leave our army right there. So, now we can make our way there.
Quickly, evacuate the wounded. The beasts are about to strike again. Use cloaks as stretchers. We've got to make it through. Paralictor, your people will have to cover us while...
2 more minutes left out in the open, and neither you nor I will have any troops left to order about, Crusader.
But the wounded...
Retreat to shelter.
Okay. And now we can go down there and fight some gargoyles. You have to be a little careful here, but it's really easy to get swarmed by some of these guys. And we are about to fight a lot more of them. What's going on, Pluto? What's going on, Monster Gillett?
We do it my way. We won't fall here. I swear it.
Alright, there should be a wounded woman right up here. Yeah. And you'll have a couple of options of how to deal with that person. And then she will explain that they were attacked by gargoyles, which is why we're here, because we were contacted by the Hell Knights to come help them. And we can choose to be evil and walk away, or we can actually heal the woman if we were able to do so. But we're lawful evil, so we're going to keep going. Ralph Anderson says, hey, Mortismo can't stay. Just wanted to say your channel's great and keep up the good work. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day. Alright. So right up here is a lot of gargoyles, and more will fly in like as soon as we engage them. So we're going to save on the off chance that does not go well. Have her cast Hurricane Bow, give her some extra damage.
I'll tear your throat out.
Yeah, they're there. That went pretty well, actually. That cleric has a ton of health. Jeez. Alright. That said, there is one more fight with these things, which is the one I'm actually worried about. But we can take all of these health potions in that scroll. Nicola says, Raptor pet is nice. Yeah, it is actually. The Raptor's one of my favorites just because it's cool. Pablo says, just wanted to say thank you for your insight critiques of CRPGs. Very well written and thought out stuff. Thank you, I appreciate it. I put quite a bit of work into them, so it's always nice to hear people say that they enjoy it. There is a thing of magic essence, which gives us 5, so when we meet back up with the storyteller, we can get that buckle, this piece of a holy symbol. We can recreate that now that we have the 5 magic essence. We could have done that earlier, but I forgot to grab the last one in the Great Garrison. So we have to wait until, I believe, Chapter 3 to do that now.
I hope you appreciate this.
Nicola asked, what animal class did I take for Raptor? It's not me, it's actually Windoog. She took Colluding Scoundrel. Speaking of, I keep forgetting I need to level that thing up.
Follow if you dare.
Finish looting the camp here.
Anything for you.
And our actual objective is this cave over here. Maroteus says, enjoying the stream and content. Who's wondering if druids could be good healers. I mean, they can a little bit, but I wouldn't really bother with being a healer with them. I'd rather go like a cleric or something that's more dedicated to it. Alright, so in the cave here, we can meet Regil.
Herlictor of the Order of the God Claw, contemporary officer of the joint unit of Hell Knights and the Order of the Sunrise Sword. You and your people should take positions. The gargoyles are regrouping. We expect they will attempt to break through in 5 to 6 minutes. Agreed.
And
be ready.
We can agree to fight these gargoyles before we talk too much. So, this fight can be a little tricky. There's a lot of gargoyles that come in here. Yeah, see, and they fly in too. And then while we're fighting these, more of these will come in through the door, if I remember correctly.
world in crimson!
That said, I think our party's starting to be in a pretty good place because
Continue!
we're doing pretty good here. That said, Socio just took negative levels, which is really annoying.
Am I so weak?
But we'll be resting by the time that's a big deal. Nicholas says, oh, the Raptor's a wrecker. Oh, I didn't realize you were asking about the class for the actual pet. My mistake there. Antonia says, can some PC builders here let me know if a Ryzen 6 with 12 cores is a good CPU for gaming in 4K viewing? It should be, off the top of my head. I mean, really, it depends on the graphics card you have with it. But in general, yeah, it would be alright. Okay, so we picked up a lesser kinetic diadem. Is that what we picked up? No, we picked up the headband of wisdom. Yeah. Yeah, we already have the diadem. Okay, who could use some more wisdom? I think we're gonna give that to, probably Windug. I believe she casts off wisdom. So that should, in theory, give her a little more room between her max spell levels. Not that Colluding Scoundrel gets a ton anyway, but hers was a little low. And I think she's the only... He might use... Yeah, I guess I could give it to Socio. He might make more use of it right this second than she would. And then she casts off Charisma, so... Wants to equip. There we go. Okay.
The world has suffered
We're
enough.
done fighting, but we'll have Socio heal everybody up there. Or we'll have
Bright future awaits.
Sela do it because Social's negative levels are killing me. But if we pass this mobility check right here, which is a little high,
Possibly death can
and
stop
even if we
me.
fail it, we can loot this. And we can come get this Ring of Protection. Alright, then we can head back. We'll throw that ring on Camilla. Then we'll talk to Regil. So Regil is one of our potential commanders, or companions rather. And we can ask him about the Hell Knights and give us a bunch of information about them. And they'll explain that they're basically here fighting the demons like everybody else. That said, they will offer to join your ranks, and if you choose to do it, this will allow you to recruit Hell Knight soldiers, which are very useful, and then also you get Regil as a companion. But we're not going to take him with us at the moment, because we're about to head back to camp and heal, which will take care of Social's negative levels and his death's door condition. I'm not too worried about that right this second. And then they put an exit right near us so we can leave conveniently. And before we leave... Oh, well, while we leave, I suppose. I'm gonna check if that armor we picked up in their little camp is any good for anybody. The muscle warmer. That might be good for... No, I already got something better. I think Socio probably does... Well, that might give him... That'd be the same, because he doesn't have the dex to take for the max dexterity. Alright. Oh, Nicola mentions it's pet armor. Yeah, it probably is, and actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, that is barding. My bad. I always forget. Like, they use the regular armor icons for it instead of, like, anything unique, so I always get it confused. That said, our Raptor can't use it anyway. So we're gonna rest, heal everybody up, and then we will continue on to our next objective, which is Leper's Smile. But first, we're gonna talk to a merchant and sell all our stuff. Just selling the magical items we're definitely never going to use. And then we're going to go through our scrolls and see what we can learn out of them. See if there's anything useful here weapon-wise first, though. Which I think he's just got a ton of +1 stuff. Yeah, none of his unique stuff is anything we'd really need. That's a really good S-stock. Super expensive though. That's really good for Cavalier. That's nice against gargoyles, actually. Like, that can be pretty useful in a particular section of the game. Because I'm pretty sure that counts as gargoyles, because they like to fly in. I'm not sure if that would actually cover them or not. If it does, it'd be super good. But there's that. And now, see what we can learn scroll-wise. Somebody mentioned this in a previous live stream, but it would be super handy if they added a button that would just automatically teach your character all of the spells from scrolls that they can learn that they have in your inventory. You don't have to go through every single one of them. That would be pretty handy. I think Woljif and Ninio are the other two that can actually learn from these. I think most of what I've got is like divine stuff anyway. There's one she can learn. And Antonio asked, does the beta have access to the base? I've seen an Alka video on it. Yeah, they do. You get it at the end of Act 2 and the start of Act 3. Sword Saint can learn spells from scrolls like normal wizards. Yeah, they can learn scrolls from wizards. They can learn spells from scrolls like wizards. Sword Saints can. Because they're just a Magus, so. Alright, and then see what Woljif can learn, if anything, which shouldn't be a ton, I imagine. Oh, there's one. He can learn shield. Looks like that's it. Alright. Moving on. Somebody said, first time I saw Wrath of Righteous stream and the character models look a lot better than Kingmaker. Yeah, they got a lot of improvement for sure. Okay, so we need to take our party up to Leper's Smile where there is an event. Yeah, so here we are at Leper's Smile. You have to come through here, it's mandatory, and this is where we'll start looking at the Lich Mythic path, actually. But we get a text event about being attacked by a swarm of, like, demon insects. And no matter what we do here, really, it all kind of goes the same way. And if we look at our companions, we can basically pick one to send forward to help. It's better if you don't send Nira, but as far as I can tell, the actual outcome of this text event doesn't have any real effects because it all kind of plays out the same way. Like, I've tested this by picking different ones. Like, in terms of the way the text event resolves, I prefer to send Regil, but I've never actually seen this make much of a difference regardless. But the swarms of insects are called Vescivores. And we're going to save here. So while we're moving forward, we'll get stopped by Anivia. She'll explain that, basically, we can either stick to the main path and save our troops as quickly as possible, or if we dive to the left and right of this little path, we can potentially find loot and stuff. But if we want to keep our troops in good order, the trick is to follow the path of blood on the ground.
Save the last one for me.
So you'll want to follow these like little blood smears on the ground because you'll lose troops if you go down these left and right areas.
I am yours to
Cast a few spells here.
Trust in yourself. Surrender.
Quick.
Luke asked why you can't rewind the video. Not really sure. I mean, it's live, obviously, but normally it lets you go back a little bit. Antonio asks, know anything about the Mythic Hero path? I saw it listed, but don't know anything about it or what abilities. Mythic Hero is what you are for the first 2 Mythic ranks. It doesn't really do like anything particular. It's just like the base Mythic levels before you actually commit to the path.
For you!
Okay. So we keep moving forward here.
I'm rather proud of this one.
We actually need to keep going this way. And there's a little event in this crevice here, if you have the perception. You can realize there's somebody down there. And you can try to pass the athletics check to pick them out. Now we need to roll an 11 to pass this, and we did.
Ah, test of my abilities.
Let's see what he said there. Something about giving me something. Ah! And then this is the main fight with the Veskavor Queen, which is technically all we have to do. Why is Windoob all the way back here? Get over here. Alright, so the Queen here is the only thing we have to kill to carry on with the game, but we're going to do some extra stuff afterwards.
I'm off.
Yeah, there she is. Now she'll summon some guards when we attack her, as you might imagine. Antonio says, sorry, just checked, and it's called the Mythic Legend, not the Mythic Hero. Mythic Legend is supposed to be the path you take if you don't commit to any of the other Mythic paths. So it's kind of like the default one if you don't want to be like a demon or an angel or whatever. I don't know the specifics about getting it. I mean, I have some guesses, but I don't really want to speculate at the moment.
Fine trophy. This will leave a bruise. I'll just sit here. Don't worry about
Did
me.
a lot of damage to sea level.
Could this happen?
Man, this thing has a ton of health.
Excruciating. So this is how it feels.
There it goes. I was like, that thing has to be about dead. Jeez. Okay. So, Anivia will talk to us, and she'll point out that somebody led us here on purpose. They put some of this slime in our equipment, which caused the Veskavors to attack us, which means that there's probably a traitor amidst our ranks who did this to us. Which is important later. But we also have the option of gathering as much of this slime as we can and then using it as like a suicide squad in the attack on Dresden later. Because what you'll be able to do is basically coat those soldiers that you send in this slime, which will then summon the Veskavors to fight for you in Dresden. Now, I will mention, if you have the Queen with you, if you chose to take her along with you on the crusade, she will not let you do this, even if you try to do it. But we're going to pick that option anyway. However, moving ahead, while we're in Dresden, we will not actually be able to do this because if we choose that option, the Queen will be like, absolutely not. Okay, and then Nura comes up, which is one of our advisors. And then we'll be able to actually look around a bit. Once Nura gets done studying this big demonic symbol. So, then we can carry on, but we need to heal
My
everybody.
will is resolute.
Rely on me.
Okay, so now what we can do is go back through the camps on the side and loot what we can, though because we went straight to the Queen, there won't be as much to loot. There is still some stuff, though.
Too late for apologies.
We'll also have to face a few more Vespidor swarms. And then, once we get that done, we can head into the cave, which is very important, especially if you want to be a Lich.
I'll rip you apart.
It quickens.
A mere flesh wound.
Yeah, so if you went straight for the Queen, all the camps will be destroyed, and you can inspect, and it'll be like, acid ruined it all.
Sud is restless. I wonder why.
Esmo, Axe, yes. Esmo, Axe.
Open your heart to me.
We can level up Socio real quick. She is a... This is base cleric, yeah. Yeah, I'm not interested in spell focus for him. I think we'll grab extra channel actually, that'll be super handy. And then we'll take a look at his spells real quick. Missing a name there. I think we will grab Holy Smite, actually. We're going to be fighting a lot of evil creatures. And it could be pretty handy for us. Alright.
I do what I must.
A little more to explore here, and then we'll get to that cave. Oh my god.
I found something.
Ivan says, hello, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty well, man. How about you? And then people are talking about the Mythic Legend path. Mythic Legend sounds pretty cool because it supposedly, I don't know this for sure, it's not in game, but the rumor is that it lets you go to level 40 instead of just capping at 20, which has the potential to be ridiculous. Moondragon says, recognizing a lot of spells from the BG2 era. That is because Pathfinder is based on D&D 3.5 edition.
What's that there?
Okay, so now we can head to the cave. Now keep in mind, you don't have to go into this cave at all. You can leave literally whenever you want once that queen is dead. But we can also pick up this bow, and I remember that being a very good bow. Yeah, so this is a +3 bleed composite, and if you confirm a critical hit, it'll actually give the enemy a stacking -1 penalty to AC until the end of combat, but that requires you to actually be hitting critical hits, so you might not necessarily get a lot out of that in particular. But still a good bow nonetheless. But I think they're both using longbows, and I don't remember off the top of my head what feat they're using. Class, yeah. I don't think she's specialized at all. So. No, I did give her weapon focus, so she'll lose a bit of a bonus on that. And then, what about you? Yeah, you don't have weapon focus, so I will give that to her. Because I'd rather have the +1, frankly. That should be quite a bit more damage for her. Because she's not going to be hitting a ton of critical hits anyway, so I'd rather just give her the extra damage. Alright. And that leads us to the cave.
We do it my way.
Alright, here we are in the cave. So,
The Inheritor.
To battle, my friends!
there's some good stuff in here, but there's also a lot of dangerous fights, which is why it's an optional place. But first things first, we're going to do the part I'm sure everybody actually wants to know about, and that is the Lich Mythic path. So, when we walk down into this cave, if we go right down this path where this rock is kind of in the way, it'll lead us down a path, which we need to take, obviously. Which is like a separate section than the rest of the dungeon, which is why I mentioned it. This path is just an offshoot that is away from the rest of the area.
I will protect you with my
Spirits
life.
demand your blood.
And that leads us down here. I don't know why my guys are all walking like that.
No
I
match for
won't let you
me.
hurt my friends.
Drown in the holy light.
We
I'll
won't
rip you
fall
apart.
here. I swear it.
Okay, so what we're actually looking for up here is the... Oh, nice. Belted Dex. That's super handy. I think I'll give that to our main guy, because he will get... He's not wearing armor, so he'll actually get the armor class from it no matter what. Whereas I think everybody else is real close to their max dex bonus, as it is. So what we're after here is
They will
this
break
glowing
against
green
our
box.
resolve.
So we're going to take our main character and head straight for it, and everybody else can fight. Yeah, there it goes. I'll say I'm pretty sure you don't have to actually... Yeah, so the reason you want to head straight for the wand here is because if you don't, even if you kill these guys, they'll get resurrected, because this is a Lich's wand. And we have a couple options here. No matter what you pick, it's fine. It's not going to like void you out of the Lich option if you pick up this wand and choose to like set the thing free. I think breaking it might has a problem actually. I don't remember offhand, but basically you want this wand. And if you choose to talk to whatever's in it, you can realize it is Master Zacharias, which is a famous crusader you can have possibly heard about up to this point. And again, I think breaking it is the only thing that might actually cause you a problem. But you don't have to do the evil thing, you can just hide it. However, if you choose the evil thing, it kills all the zombies around. You don't have to fight them. But basically you want to take that wand with you. That is the first step to the Lich's path, is having that wand with you.
What do we have here?
And then we find a rapier called the Mind Piercer. So this will deal an extra bit of damage to anything under mind affecting spells. And it is pretty much... Actually, I think that's a little less base damage than our rapier that she has right this second. No, it's the same. Or a little more, actually. Okay. So there is an upgrade for Camilla.
Follow if you dare.
So this right here, if you're paying attention, this is actually a group of thieves that stole a bunch of stuff from the Tower of Estrad from the first act, and they stole the wand from there, which is why all this happened to them. So we have an Elven Curve Blade, which is pretty good, but nobody can use it. And then our full plate, which Sela I think already has. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so now we're going to head back to the entrance and try to go through the rest of this dungeon, which may or may not end well for us because there's some tough demons down here. All right. Gonna make a quick save just in case. Found a longsword +2 right there, which I can't imagine is better than our longsword of right. Well, for whatever reason it says she can't equip that, which is strange. She definitely can. Okay, 7 to 14. So our longsword of right does a little less damage, but our longsword of right also deals an additional 1 die 3 to chaotic, which is what demons are, so I think we're going to keep the longsword of right on for now. Probably just sell that longsword too.
The light. Do not fear. Do not. Something.
I am helpful, am I not?
Alright. Huh? Yeah, so these Darachnes, or however it's pronounced, and there's a couple other demons up here. So we're going to put Camilla in sneak mode, see if we can disarm this trap.
I hope you appreciate this.
And then we will fight this thing.
Be gone, fiend!
Tear your throat out. What's that there?
So this is how it feels.
Yeah, they deal a bunch of constitution damage, as you can see. Well, it should be about dead. Yeah, there it goes. But he did a crap ton of constitution damage to Camilla and our main guy. But that is alright.
Let me help.
Because that should be the last person down. And somebody should have restoration. Yeah. We have a save, so if anything goes too terribly
You're a good
wrong.
person. I like you.
Oh,
The goddess protects us.
that said, she lost a ton of constitution.
No reason to pause.
This war must end.
I am never
Could have swore somebody else had
I'll watch your back.
that. But I think that was... I can't remember. Yeah, there's more of them. Okay. Yeah, those things are the worst. Alright.
Search for the beauty with your heart, not your eyes.
Let me draw the first blood. You are today's sacrifice.
We're gonna see how the fight against this one goes. This should be the last one of these. We'll use her mighty. As long as he doesn't put anybody down, it should be okay. Yeah, there we go. So I cast protection from evil there, which helped us out a lot. Antonio says rest, I assume. So rest will heal the damage if you're in a hub, or protection from evil will help like keep the constitution damage from happening to begin with, which can help you out a lot. As you saw in that second fight there, I cast protection from evil, which kept most of the damage from happening to begin with, which I should have done in the first place, but I didn't think it was going to be as big a deal as it was. That said, that should be the last of the Drachnes, if I'm not mistaken. There is at least one other big demon, though.
I do what I
And I
must.
don't remember what's over here, to be honest. Yeah, there's a royal guard.
What's on your mind?
Let our pet catch up for some reason.
I will lend you my aid.
We're gonna save his prayer cast. We are gonna cast Animate Dead, though.
Save the last one for me.
Oh no! They all tagged up on my main guy there and he went down because he had Death's Door. I definitely saved before that. Yeah, that's weird. It loaded my old save, but I had one much farther along than that. That's weird. Little bug, I guess. Alright, so this time, obviously, we'll go ahead and cast protection from evil and everything before we fight the first one.
Don't hold
Which
back.
should, in theory, keep us from getting that Death's Door condition. Well, it'll keep us from taking the Constitution and damage that led to the Death's Door condition. Because we took too much Constitution damage. There was that trap here. There was a trap up here somewhere. There it is.
What's that? I hope you appreciate this.
Nico says he wanted to stop by and say that he's watched a lot of my content recently and says I appreciate the work putting it all together and the opinions. Thanks and keep up the great work. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for watching all of it.
I found
Alright.
something.
What's on your mind? I wonder.
Put Camilla in sneak mode, have her disarm these traps.
I am helpful, am I not? I am helpful, am I
The
not?
goddess protects us.
I'll watch your
Take
back.
her out of stealth.
My will is resolute.
So we'll go ahead and cast Protection from Evil and Prayer. Go ahead and cast Shield, and we'll drop an Animate Dead just for good measure.
I won't let you hurt my friends. Hell, what is that? The world in
Yeah, there we go.
crimson.
Alright, now we're gonna hurry up around the corner and see if we can grab the second one while we're still in a good place. We're gonna go ahead and cast another Animate Dead though, and move our pet and Sela up here, who for whatever reason didn't. Oh no, Sela's under. Yeah, Sela got confused. So those Darachnes, in addition to the Constitution damage, they'll do that little shockwave thing right there. It can cause your characters to go confused if they fail their save. And at that point, they'll stop doing what you tell them to do.
Mere flesh wound.
Alright, so he needs to back up like immediately. Yeah, so he got confused, and then I lost control of him, which I think he still is. But I was able to move him there, and then he took a bunch of damage because Darachne was he was the only thing next to Darachne.
Your pain is my pleasure.
Strike!
There we go. Now we should be good.
Pain is excruciating.
Protection from Evil wore off before we could kill this one, and now Camilla's taking a bunch of damage again. But we should have the restoration to heal that this time.
I heed the voice of the
First things
spirit.
first. Create Affliction, see if we can get rid of that.
Am I at my limit?
Search for the beauty with your heart,
Alright.
not your eyes.
Well, we'll heal the damage and move on.
I would like some time to collect myself.
So, all things considered, that went much better.
Open your heart to me.
I will lend you my aid.
And all of that is to ultimately get the Voice of Hollow there, which is a +2 mithril heavy mace, and it confirms a crit. The sound that's produced, all enemies in a 30-foot cone, except the target, have to pass a will saving throw with a DC of 16 or be affected with Voices of the Hollow for 1d4 rounds, which means every turn their target is randomly affected with one of the following: 50% chance they behave normally but suffer 2d6 sonic damage, or a 50% chance they attack the nearest creature, which can be very good if you are using a heavy mace.
Let me help.
So, a lot of annoyance dealing with the Darachnes right at that particular moment, but if you want the Voice of the Hollow, it is a pretty decent trade-off, all things considered. Go ahead and cast Animate Dead and help ourselves out here. everybody
protects
leveled up
us.
right there, which is pretty cool. And we're still waiting on the base attack bonus to take Duelist, which should be this next level. So like the next level after this one, we could probably pick up Duelist. Alright, and then I think we are going to go with Piranha Strike. And then for our spells, then we're going to pick up Haste. And probably just grab the spell magic.
I'm always ready.
And for Sela, we're just gonna keep on with her being a paladin. I think she already has. Yeah, we're gonna let her specialize in longsword because there's a very specific longsword she's going to be using. And she's also using one right now. We'll pick up Fencing Grace for Camilla with her rapier. For Windaug, we could give her Boon Companion, but her pet is only one level behind us anyway, so I don't think that's really worth it. Could pick up Rapid Shot if we wanted to. Which I think Rapid Shot might be what we pick up. But I think that's what's keeping us from, like, Snapshot and stuff. I think we've already got that. Oh no, she just doesn't have enough base attack bonus. But yeah, we'll go ahead and pick up Rapid Shot then. And then for her Teamwork feat, we'll go ahead and grab Back to Back, because we already got Precise Shot. And then for her spell, which she gets one of, I think we will pick up Effortless Armor wouldn't be too bad, but she's a ranger, so she's not going to use it a ton. There's not a lot of animals in this, so I don't know how much Hold Animal would really help us out. And then I think I might just give her Restoration Lesser. Actually, no, I think we'll go... What does that summon? 1d3 natural? Nah, that's not enough. Yeah, I think we just pick up Restoration. Alright. And that leaves Ember. And for hers... we're gonna give her Elemental Focus Fire. Because she is kind of a healer, but she also deals a bunch of fire damage, because she gets a bunch of fire spells just naturally, so. Which is why we gave her Ascendant Element Fire earlier. I think we'll pick up Command for her level 1. For level 2, I think we'll pick up Blindness. And then for level 3, thinking Bestow Curse would be fun. Not that we'll be using it a ton regardless, but regardless. Okay. Make sure we've... It should be most of the enemies, and then there is one fight in particular left down here, at least I know for sure I'm going to want to rest before.
We do it my
Which I
way.
believe is past a rock or something. Yeah, pretty sure that's past there. We're going to send our pet to scout forward here. Because it is a raptor and it moves very quickly. Yeah, more Vegetables.
Might be a trap. I hope you appreciate this.
Alright. I always forget to level the pet up. Alright, so... There's at least one more... Yeah, there it is. The rocks. Yeah, so... There's rocks, and then there's one more demon I'm wanting to be a surprise, so I'm specifically not saying what it is. Because I think people will get a kick out of that thing. But it is behind that athletics check over there. And then we just have these rocks over there. So we're gonna
There's
have
beauty hidden in the darkest
Bow
places.
Seal
Too bad
run
no
up
one
there
can
and
see it there.
cast. Oh, we're gonna have him cast Prayer for starters.
I will fight.
We're gonna have him cast Animate Dead. Have her cast Hurricane Bow. I think we're gonna have. That's just one creature. She can't do everybody like Socio can with Communal. I think we'll go ahead and have her cast Smite Evil on the first one there. Yeah, so rocks have that big stunning screech, which is really annoying. Max says thank you for sharing the gameplay. You're welcome. Ah, crap. So our main guy went down there. Should be able to cast a channel and bring him back up, though. That thing should be about dead, though. And you can't have that much more health. Yeah, there goes. Alright, so the bodies they were guarding have a Radiant Kukri 1. Plus some gold. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna go back to that main room, we're gonna rest, and then we're gonna go get our way through this athletics check. That way I can show you guys the demon that's hiding behind it, which is really cool. I think people will enjoy that. And by enjoy, they may or may not hate it, but one way or another.
You've carried such suffering around.
Really?
Alright. I'll save real quick, and then hopefully...
Impossible! Ugh, what a failure.
There we go. Alright, and then there it is. So this giant metal spider thing, I believe it's called a hunter retriever, something like that. There's at least a couple of them in game that I'm aware of. So we'll have him cast Sprayer, her caster Animate Dead. You cast Hurricane Bow. I don't remember offhand. I think we're gonna see if we can hit it with hers. That would be cool. I think that's it. Alright, and then start trying to holy smite things. Alright, so this thing does a ton of damage, as you can see, but we did manage to kill it. Nice. Okay, that went a little smoother than I thought. I thought it had a lot more health left, to be honest. It died a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. Yeah, those are called, hunter retrievers. And that is the first one you can find. And on its corpse, we will find a retriever's claw, which is a +2 cold iron dagger, but it has an increased critical multiplier of ×3. And then, in addition to that, it should be... I thought there was... I might be missing the perception check. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this corpse right here. This corpse has a necklace on it. That it's not amazing, but it's like +1 against poison or something like that on your saving throws.
Follow if you dare.
But I'm not passing the perception check, I think, to see that it actually has something on it. And with that out of the way, we can move on. Okay, and there's an exit to the world map just right behind this cave, which is convenient. And then that'll bring us back here. And our camp gets set up right past Leper's Smile as soon as we clear this out. Which is good, because we need to rest to clear Death's Door off Camilla. Give me just a second, guys. Brennan asks, the Paladin is a good tank. They're okay. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I think there's better options, but they have a good variety of abilities to use in addition to their heavy armor and stuff. Like Smite Evil is super handy in a campaign where there's just a ton of evil creatures, for instance. Alright, so, moving forward here. Now this inconspicuous camp will let us talk to the creature that sent us a note in a random encounter earlier.
I do what I must.
Which is Krenuk, which is this kobold. Now if you attack him, he just runs off. You can't actually kill him. But he's very well spoken for a kobold. And basically he says every once in a while he'll give you advice, really. And in this particular instance, if you hadn't figured out at Leper's Smile that someone is clearly plotting against you, he gives you even more warning about it. And he'll tell you more about himself, and you can ask him a bunch of questions, but that's basically the gist of it. Alright, and then the next place we need to go is right here. We have to clear that out. Weirdly enough, our army disappeared. That's alright, because we have plenty of finance points to buy more soldiers. If I had to guess, that probably had to do something with the events at Leper's Smile there. Not letting me assign my general. It's letting me level her up though, which is strange, but won't let me actually assign her. Oh, she's still got 18 hours before she can be assigned, that's why. Alright, we gotta skip day because we're out of movement points. Which might have... yeah, there we go. We're going to park our army right there for the time being, because most of these are a little stronger than that army is, because the army we had got wiped out, which means ultimately we're going to have to pass some time to get more finance points to buy more troops to clear out that garrison and stuff. Alright, and then we are hit with the Skeletal Salesman random encounter. Which most of his stuff is fairly expensive, so I don't think we'll have much of a use for it. He's got a couple things we could afford, but nothing I'm really interested in buying, to be honest.
I'm gone.
So with this part of the game, like the goal is to reach here, which is Dresden. And in order to do that, you basically have to build up your troops to get through a couple of garrisons on your way there. We're gonna go do Dayran's quest, I think, actually, over here at Heaven's Edge. But that's pretty much what you do. You do the crusade stuff, which requires building up your troops, because there are a few fights up here that can be a little difficult, so you kind of have to focus on that part of it for a bit, the actual crusade bit. We're gonna go swap out party members, grab Dayran, and head to his quest in Heaven's Edge, since that is nearby. Renan asks, is this version better than the first? Because I saw that there were big changes. It seems that they took the best mods and made them default. Yeah, overall I'd say I'm enjoying Wrath of the Righteous a lot more than Kingmaker across the board, but I've only got access to about half the game, so can't speak for every bit of it. Alright, then we're just gonna head right back out and swap out probably Social for Dayran. Mag says, what is the best way to build up your army? The best way to do it is to fight the battles you can actually win and then skip through days, because there's no timer on anything here. And skipping through days will give you more finance points as well as more recruits for your troops, which, like, you know, as you can see, you get so many of these a week available to buy, and then we'll get so many resources per week as well. So that'll let us buy things. Hell Knights are really useful, by the way. But basically that's what it is. Skipping through days to get finance points, and also fighting battles, because if you don't fight battles, your morale will drop. And if your morale drops, you're going to be super ineffective in the battles you're trying to fight. So it's kind of a mix of those two things. Which we might do a little bit of that after we clear out Dayran's side quest, depending on the time we've got. I would say rest, but Dayran's actually a, like, this side quest is a non-combat side quest. It's more exposition and laughs than anything else.
My not so numerous, but nonetheless dearest guests. About a year ago at my last birthday party, I assured you all that I nurtured a deep-seated hatred for boring people who give protracted speeches in the misplaced belief that their inner thoughts are of any interest to anyone but themselves. Now I am a whole year older and also a full-fledged crusader, an honorable position that requires me to be as dull, pedantic, and vexing as I possibly can. Therefore, a speech it is. The revered cleric Nestrin, my guardian and tutor, often told me that those who live a sinful life may expect to join the abyssal hordes after they die. This is why their path is the most despicable of all. A part of their soul may return to Mendev in the abominable form of a demonic invader. Every time we see a demon, we might as well think about it. What if this wretched creature used to be your great-great-grandfather? What if certain parts of this pointy-tailed beauty used to belong to your pious cousin? They say that the demons represent the sins of the souls they are made of. Succubi emerge out of lustful souls. Vandals turn into Abracandilu. Glutens become Nabasu. I, for one, am determined to commit as many different sins as possible so that the distributive mechanism of the abyss breaks when it tries to decide what to do with my soul. You, my dearest guests, will be my assistants in this complicated task. Eat, drink, and indulge yourselves in whatever vices you can. Let nobody leave this house as righteous as they entered it. Live every day like it's your last. After all, nobody knows when that day will arrive, do they?
Alright, and then Liatur will show up, who is the person who asked us to attend Dayran's birthday party to begin with. And we are investigating the event that led to all of his family dying when he was much younger. And WotR explains that he has found several headless bodies, both of guests and demons, around. And moreover, you can point out the fact that if you've been paying attention, you'll have found severed heads in your inventory up to this point, just randomly. And WotR will ask you to distract the Count. So we're gonna go talk to him. He'll complain more about being in the crusade. And we can choose to distract him. We can demand a report of all of his work, which is funny. Or we can just be rude and he'll run off. At which point we can go back to WotR, who will perform a ritual in the courtyard here to continue his investigation. Most of the items around here are junk, but there are a couple of really good ones in a room later. So this is Dayran and his family enjoying a dinner when Dayran was a child. And then it shows a Lalitu, which is a type of demon there, poisoning their meal. And then WotR will explain that he wants to do the same ritual in Dayran's bedroom, which requires us to go lure Dayran out of the bedroom. And you can also talk to your companions and stuff while they're in the main hall here celebrating. Most of them don't really have much to say, generally speaking, though. And then Dayran is over here. Now, this chest has so much diamond dust in it. I don't know why none of this stacks together, which is why I generally don't pick it up, but diamond dust is often a spell reagent, and this is where you can get so much of it. And also, you can pick up these really cool bracers. The bracers are clear purpose. It allows you to cast healing spells without provoking attacks of opportunity, and it gives you a +2 bonus on concentration checks. So we will be giving those to Ember, because she's like our main healer person. And also, her braces of armor conflict with her mage armor spell anyway. And then we can also loot a bunch of other stuff we can sell. Basically just stealing from Dayran's bedroom right in front of him. And then we have a few different ways to get him out of the bedroom here so WotR can come perform his ritual. We can, as his boss basically of the crusade, force him to do boring stuff, or we can convince him that he can't persuade Social to draw a picture of him, Sela to dance, Camilla to dance, for instance. And I'm thinking Social, that one sounds funny. And then WotR comes in. Dayran's talking to his mother about a plague that has hit their estate, and the cleric Nestrin here has sealed up the place. And Dayran wants to take her to Canabris to be healed, but they're not letting anybody out because it's a plague. And then Laetor wants to perform the ritual one last time in the main hall. And then you can see the consequences of our choice earlier. Any favorite companions from what I've seen? Personally, there's a few of them I like. Camilla I enjoy because there's definitely a mystery about her that never really gets explained, at least not fully yet because we don't have access to the full thing. Windaoog is also a favorite of mine. I like Ember, she's pretty cool. There's a couple you get later in Act 3 that are also really neat. For instance, Raybor and Arushale are pretty awesome as well. Any possibility of meeting the companions of Kingmaker? No, not that I'm aware of in any capacity. The only real recurring character from Kingmaker is the storyteller. Alright. Then we have more options of clearing him out of the hall here so that we can, again, perform the ritual. And this is the one that actually gives us a lot of answers about Dayran. Now the Lilitu is trying to get her hands on Dayran. He is being protected by Nestrin, the cleric of the estate. And then Laetor mentions that his ritual isn't performing as expected, it's distorted. And then they mention that a nameless being seems to be watching this altercation between you guys. And this is basically where we see Dayran become an Oracle. We saw him connect with some out-of-world entity and then resolve that situation, which Laetor can tell us more about. So we don't know what this thing is or what it wants from Dayran, but basically we just learned that the way Dayran became an Oracle is that he contacted this entity which protected him in a time of need, and since then, it's just kind of observing the world through Dayran. However, Laetor here will posit some theories that it doesn't want anyone to know about it. The thing that's using Dayran as a source of power, or giving Dayran his powers. It doesn't want people to be aware of its existence, and it seems to have something to do with the way Dayran acts. But Laetor will ask us to keep the secret here a secret and not tell anybody about it because, as he mentions, everyone that seems to learn about the other winds up decapitated. So Laetor will mention that he's gonna try to figure out what he can do about it by going to the libraries in Neurosin, or however it's pronounced, the capital, and trying to find any information he can about it. And that is pretty much it. For Dayran's quest, that is. And you can talk to some more of your party members if you want. But once you're ready, you can leave, as that is Dayran's side quest done. Alright, so we're gonna head back to our Crusader camp here and rest. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and rest now before I wind up getting ambushed while we're exhausted. And then we get hit with an encounter, which is probably the Skeletal Salesman. Yep. Okay, now we're going to switch to our Crusader. So we're a little light on troops, so we're going to skip a few days until our morale starts going down. So as you can see, every day that passes it'll show the morale change, which is dependent on your recent battles. So now it's starting to go down. We're going to check. That passed a week for us, which means we can buy more troops. I don't think. Real picky about letting you buy these guys. Like, it only lets you buy the mercenaries like in their total amount, so you can't just buy like some of them. But we'll start moving this army forward. And then we'll move our original army down this way, because we're going to start clearing out some of these smaller demon armies to keep our morale up while we start building our armies up so we can take out some of the garrisons on our way to Dresden, which is pretty much where we're at. So we combine those, and then we can start taking out some of these guys. The easiest ones to do are the ones with the little green numbers. That means that should be a relatively easy win for you. So yeah, we lost one there. And then we can choose to fight that battle if we want. For the sake of speeding this up, we're going to keep it moving. So we got 5 energy points for that, which is this separate resource right here. We don't actually have any regular recruits that would cost us that. However, we can buy 7 Hell Knights. But we're going to hold off on that because right now we can only have 3 units per army. We will be able to pick up abilities and stuff once she levels up, which will probably happen after our next battle. And if we can, we're going to pick up a unit size increase, which will allow us to have more than 3 troops. So I think next we're going to go after this other small one. After we skip days until our morale starts dropping. Oh, it actually is dropping now. Never mind. Right there. Got 1,000 finance points for that. And yeah, so if we pick up Master of Maneuver, the maximum size of our army increases by 1 unit, which means we can have 4 now. So we're going to recruit those Hell Knights, or at least as many as we can. And then there's an option to get more there later, but we don't have the finance points to do that. And we're going to move this army back this way. Start moving our Hell Knights up towards us. And we're kind of on the main path here, but I did want to mention there is actually a lot of smaller locations over here that you can explore that have some good stuff in them. But it requires you to clear out, for instance, that demon army, or that demon garrison rather. But there are a few locations over here that are relatively easy to explore as well. Alright, so we're good there. We're pretty close to being good to go. I'd like to get just a few more troops under our belt, and then we'll pretty much be sorted out. Or at least we should have enough to do the things we need to do. I'd like to get the rest of these clerics right here, is really what I'm trying to grab. It says we'll be good to do that. I don't know, we'll try that one real quick. I think we'll save before we try that battle. Which I could actually be fighting all these in that, like, little Heroes of Might and Magic thing, but for the sake of the stream, I'm trying to keep it moving. So we took some losses there, but we replenished the Hell Knights and the clerics we lost, which are the main two. The footmen and the archers are pretty cheap, so that's not like a huge deal. And we also picked up Tyranny of the Mind, which is a heavy flail. So just some of the rewards you can get from doing the crusade battles there. Now we have more finance points to recruit more. And then once we merge these two together, we'll start moving towards Dresden with our army. Cosmic says 12 days, can't wait. He's looking forward to it. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good. Matthias says, so happy to see you continuing the stream. Because of you, I pre-ordered. One question though, from what I've heard, the Aeon spellbook is a divine one. Can I use those as a something faithless? The Mythic path stuff I don't believe is restricted by really anything your character does too much. I think there's like some alignment stuff that goes into it, but generally speaking, it's not really a big deal as far as like the backgrounds go. That said, offhand, I don't remember what the Aeon gets for spell stuff. I'd have to look it up to actually confirm that. And Metodej, somebody's name there, asked if I can show a crusade battle. Yeah, I'll show the next one once we get up here. So for the people who haven't seen it, this is your sort of, from what I understand, Heroes of Might and Magic, which I haven't played a ton of, kind of system here. So your main, like, person here, your general, can cast abilities and stuff, which they can get and kind of diversify as they level up. And then our turn order is up here. So right now it's our archer's turn, and then once per, like, round, if you will, your general can perform an action. So if I attack these, I'll kill 8 to 16 or 6 to 12 of these, or 2 to 4 of those. I think we're gonna aim for these guys because that will hopefully get rid of the most. We'll move our foot soldiers up. We'll move our clerics up. And then our Hell Knights can actually move all the way up and attack that guy. So then we can use our archers. We don't have the energy to use an ability again. But we can do that. We can move to attack with those guys, but we won't do a ton of damage. So we're going to move our foot soldiers over here. And we're going to move up and lay on hands others, our Hell Knights. We're trying to keep as many of them alive as possible here. There's that unit gone. And then we can start clearing some of these other guys out. Which in this particular instance, we might have been better going off with the auto battler. Because we're going to lose a lot of troops, frankly. Thanks to our high morale, we got a second attack there. Antonio says this is the army battle I've heard about. Yeah, this is it. If you actually choose to fight him anyway, there is like an auto accept that you can just take the results from. Move our clerics up here and just keep whittling away on these guys and we will be good to go. Cupcake says hello, how do you do? Pretty good, man, how are you? And we win. Alright, so all we lost there were 20 footmen. Which isn't too bad, honestly. Jacob says I'm not too convinced by this side of the game. Most of the regular stuff looks great though. Yeah, like I don't mind it at all by any means, but personally I find actually fighting the Crusade battles like a little repetitive. But some people are definitely more into that, and it does get a little more diverse in like Act 3 once you start building up your like base in Dresden, and you can start like getting more troop types and stuff. But like Act 2 here, it's kind of basic. So we got a bunch of finance points for that, and I think what we're gonna do is I don't know if we can... Yeah, we don't have enough to grab the Hell Knights, but that is who I want, so we're going to wait a couple days. And then we're going to grab those Hell Knights. Yeah, there we go. Then we're going to bring our Hell Knights up to us, and then we're going to take the garrison next. Of course, it stopped like right there. Okay, so there's that, and then after we take this garrison, there's more story stuff that happens. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Or it's when you enter the camp after this one, I think. So we won there, no problem. And then... I think it either stops you or... Yeah, Lost Chapel, that's what it is. Okay, so I believe our actual party is good to go. Yeah, okay. So we gotta move these guys up, and that should trigger the crap at Lost Chapel. Yeah. Okay. This is where the story kicks off. Or at least picks back up, I should say. Okay, so Anivia comes and wakes us up, as well as Windaoog and a couple guards, and basically says we are under attack, and we can basically say what's going on, and they say we are being attacked by winged monsters. And if we pass that check, we can basically realize that they're talking about gargoyles, or you'll figure that out as soon as you step outside. So... I recommend going over here, first things first, because this is where the Queen is, but also you can run into Nura. Now the Queen isn't here. However, if you're paying attention, or you pass this perception check, you can ask, why do you have a vial of alchemist fire in your belt? And then she can basically distract you and then attack these guys. But that is an important conversation, because Nura showed up conveniently right after the attacks on the Vescavors, and if you choose Nura to help you with the Vescavors, she actually deliberately draws their attention. So suffice to say, there's a lot of weird stuff going around with Nura at the moment. And if you remember, multiple people have said there's a traitor in our midst up to this point. We can also collect a bunch of loot from the bodies, which includes some health potions, which is pretty handy. Not that we don't already have a million of them, but, you know. Cosmic says, I wonder who it could be. Yeah, it's a real mystery.
I do what I must.
Right, there's more enemies there. We'll attack the ones behind us then.
This will hurt.
now we can go around and start collecting some party members here. So we can find Camilla right over here. She says she's fine, but obviously we need to start picking up the camp. Then we can go around the corner here. We can grab Sela, I believe,
Look at you wide
after we
open.
fight some more enemies. Cleric hit us with hold person. But he died before he could do anything else. Alright, so if we pass a diplomacy check, we can basically get the soldiers' morale up. And then we can ask Sela if she's okay, which she is fine. And she will join our party again.
This will be
And then we can
quick.
come around the corner to more gargoyles, including that one that seems bugged out apparently. Loot all of our health potions, and then we can carry on over here. We can also pick up a lesser phylactery of positive channeling, which is something I think we can throw on Sela, actually. Yeah, because she doesn't have a head slot on, I don't think. And she has channel positive energy. So that'll be useful for her for the moment.
I'm gone.
And then we see Irabeth fighting a beast called Nulkaneth, who I believe is supposed to be a Nabasi. Now, no matter what you say to this guy, he doesn't actually give you the chance to fight. He runs off and summons a bunch of his gargoyles to fight you instead. But he kidnaps Irabeth.
Commander.
Now that is pretty much the end of the attack, and then you go back to the tent to discuss options, because obviously we're still missing quite a few of our companions, for starters. Also, one of our advisors was kidnapped. Cosmic says, what resolution am I playing at? I'm playing at 4K. I think I'm streaming in like 720 though, for the sake of latency. Okay, and then we can talk to Anivia whenever we're ready. Nura will point to where she believes they took them, which is the Lost Chapel. And the gargoyles apparently kidnapped Irabeth, as well as 24 soldiers, both recruits and veterans. Coincidentally, they also took Queen Galfrey, if she was with you, but everyone thinks she's just a regular soldier, so nobody really makes a big fuss about it. And then we get immediately transported to the chapel. Now you can't do anything else right here, by the way. They force you to go straight to the chapel. And then at this point, our task is to find the rest of our companions. Anivia will talk to us as soon as we get here, and Ninio has already found you guys. And then you can ask for healing ones if they have them. And they'll basically say that up on the hill is the chapel where a bunch of gargoyles have taken up root, as well as that Nabasu. I think it's a Nabasu. And then we can change party if we need to, and we can say we're going. Ninio will automatically join you. But we find our companions
We do it
relatively quickly, so I wouldn't worry about that too much as far as the actual party comp goes. Or at least we start finding them quickly, I should say. Alright, so...
Do not fear! Do not waver!
Just gotta watch out for these random gargoyle attacks. They'd like to swoop down on you up here. Now the Lost Chapel here is actually a pretty substantially large area, and you can only access parts of it at a time. So like the path to the chapel here is relatively straightforward, and then we can get more of it a little later. Here we come across Ember and Dayran. Ember will save this Crusader's life. Alright, at this point we can ask people how they escaped. And they will mention that there's actually caves and stuff around the place that they were able to slip through. And then we can start accepting people into our party or just kind of making decisions, really. Which we will drop... Actually, I think we'll just take Ember and Ninio. I don't really like Dayran that much. And then... carry on.
Huh? Oh.
So we
Yes,
will
what?
heal Ninio up lest she die. But to be fair, as soon as I find Social, I'm dropping her, so... I'm not really trying to go through the hassle of leveling her up to use her for maybe like one fight. Because we will be finding Social before too long. Forget exactly where he is on this path, he's not too far up. And they are pretty forgiving with the attacks up until you get your companions back. Like you only fight a couple of gargoyles at a time.
Do not fear! Do not waver!
The spirits demand your blood.
Still in combat. And really all we gotta do is keep following this path.
Right?
And they like to cast Smite good, so that's something you gotta watch out for. Okay.
I'll bathe in your blood!
There we go. And this is where we run into some Hell Knights, as well as their Armigers.
I'm sorry I have to do this.
So Yaker, which is Regel's like second in command, will tell you where you can find Regil, basically tell him that he's fine. And we can send him back down.
I'm off.
And this is where we run into Seal, which is who we'll be swapping out Nideo for. And Seal's healing while trying to fight the ghouls. But Seal will also mention that for whatever reason, this woman had her brother's, his brother's shield on her. So they're like, well, once we get that sorted out, we'll ask some questions. But that starts Seal's companion quest. Well, his next companion quest, anyway. So, obviously there's ghouls pretending to be corpses here, which is a trap you can pretty readily recognize. Cambium asks, how is Cavalier and what is the best type of Slayer? Cavalier's pretty neat. Obviously you kind of want to lean into the mounted aspect of it, since that's really what a lot of that class revolves around, outside of the archetypes that are more of a foot soldier type thing. As far as Slayer goes, off the top of my head, I honestly don't have much of an answer for you on that one. I don't mess around with the Slayer too much besides the base one. Just off the top of my head, I really don't know. I'd have to look up the archetypes and stuff to really answer your question. I don't really play them that often. Alright, and this is where we can run into Regil. And we can either take him with us or have him and his Hell Knights retreat back down to the camp. And we can carry forward. And we can see a bunch of our people being tossed down a ledge here.
I see something over there.
Now if we pass this mobility check, or take a bunch of damage trying to pass this mobility check.
I will help where I can.
Trust in yourself.
Esmo, access, yes. Esmo, access, yes.
What a failure.
We can pull this soldier out of here.
Testing my abilities.
What a mess!
The hell says, hey guys, what's going on, man? So we can't actually get to it, but that athletics check is a little later on when we're exploring the rest of the map, which we're going to keep right on trucking into the chapel here, because the chapel area is not too long, but it is where the Lich Mythic path finishes up and, you know, kind of gives you the full option. And then I actually want to show you guys the boss fight and stuff here, and once we get that done, that's probably where we'll call it for the day. But we still got a little while to go yet. So these ghouls are trying to convince their crusader friend there to become a ghoul, but he's not having it. And he channels energy and kills all of them. And around the corner, we can find some more ghouls.
They are the darkness.
And a succubus. Somebody hit window with a negative level then. I think you have to have just regular restoration to get rid of negative levels. I don't think regular lesser restoration actually would cover that one. I mean, she got hit with an exhausted thing. I don't think. I don't think I have full restoration, or even as a scroll. I mean, that sucks. Means I'm basically gonna have to rest, or wait like 10 minutes, and I don't really want to do that. Alright. Now we're back in business, though I do find the idea of camping outside right there for like a day hilarious. That's just one of those game dissonance things. But, onward. There's a bunch of ghouls over here, pretending to be dead.
You can trust me.
We'll have Camilla cast
I will fight.
animate there. Whoa! I don't know what hit our main guy.
The world in crimson.
Trying to find what hit our main guy there, because I went from full health to like hit with a death's door condition. Jesus. That cultist just randomly hit our main character for 48, which was actually a 61 roll, but run normal, so it got adjusted down to 48. So he basically got one shot because he took that and then immediately took 16 more damage as a sneak attack from a ghoul. Good grief. Talk about unlucky. But that is alright, because honestly there's only a handful of smaller fights left anyway, so we're gonna heal up and then that should be fine. I mean, we're gonna save obviously just in case, but the fact that he's at death's door should not be that big. Cosmic says, I'm glad I'm not the only one getting unlucky like that. Misery loves company. Yeah, no joke. That was just an unlucky couple of hits. Because like I wasn't worried about him being right in the thick of it because he had basically full health. And then he got hit by two massive attacks and went from full health to dead. Alright, we'll save just because we've got that death's door condition and then we'll move on here. Okay. So, some of the ghouls in here we recognize. There are people that we could have met in Act 1 who have been like vendors and stuff for us up to this point. And if Queen Galfrey is with you, she's also in here, which is important because if you want to do the queen, like, romance stuff, what you say here very much so matters in her eyes. So if you basically threaten your crusaders in any way, she will not be happy about it. Yeah, so she's up there. So just keep in mind, if you're trying to romance her, she gets really upset about whatever you do right there.
What do we have here?
And then we can clear out all of these ghouls. So she's pretty upset about the demons doing that. You know, I'm just doing all this to this place. She goes back to meet the camp, and you are left to keep clearing stuff out.
Am I not?
An amulet of agile fist if you got anybody unarmed right there. And that light shield, which is a shield of magical retribution, which is a pretty good light shield.
That was easy.
I am helpful, am I not?
Okay, and then once we approach, I believe all you gotta do is approach this door. And then if you have the wand from the cave earlier with the Veskavor Swarm, this door will just disappear and you can see down into the basement. And that is important because this is where the rest of the Lich Mythic Path happens. But you have to have that wand with you for that door to open. I think you can actually still get down here if you pass a perception check or something like that. However, without the wand, you still can't continue the Mythic Path for the Lich stuff. So you still have to have that wand.
I'm gone.
But once we get far enough into this library, we'll be stopped by Zacharias, who is a famous crusader. However, he explains that he turned himself into a lich. And he mentions that he wants his wand back. And if you give it to him, he will basically tutor you in how to become a lich. So this is the Lich Mythic Path stuff. You do have to give him the wand to do that. If you won't give it to him, or you know, you just won't give it to him really, or you choose to attack or anything, he won't help you on your way to becoming a lich. So in order to be a lich, you actually have to give it back. And giving him his wand actually frees him from his prison. And if you give it to him, he'll offer to summon the dead to help you with the upcoming battle with Nulkaneth. So even if you don't want to be a lich, a very pragmatic thing to do is to help him anyway, if you don't mind freeing a lich, because it will make the upcoming battle much easier. And we will... Oh. I don't know why there is a devil imp in that stack of books, but there is. I also don't know why they give it a cat icon, but there we are.
The world has suffered enough.
And then now we have a little imp follower, in addition to our cat. There's more elven notes we can give to the storyteller. I think most everything else down here is junk. Cats are devils confirmed. Yeah, that checks out. Alright, so... there's not too much more down here. There's a few more rooms you can explore, but the main thing is obviously Zacharias.
We do it my
And I'm
way.
trying to speed this along. So... we've only got a few more rooms to cover. froze up here. Hold on. Hopefully it'll come back. Unless, of course, it doesn't. Which is really gonna suck if it didn't autosave. No, it did. I can see in the chat where it autosaved, so that's good at least. Oh! Give me just a second, guys. I have a feeling this is unresponsive. Yeah, hold on, I gotta pull it back up. Which is unfortunate, but I do want to mention that is the first time it has crashed on me in quite some time. And to be fair, I am streaming and stuff on the same computer that I'm running the game on, which does affect things like that. So we'll try that again. Ah, man. Well, that's no good. It's looking like coming back up those stairs is crashing the game on me. Hold on, I will see if I have a convenient save before I went down into the basement and talked to Zacharias, because clearly the problem's coming back up the stairs. So if I have a save before that, I'll go ahead and load it and continue on. We'll just have to fight Nulkaneth without Zacharias' help. But that won't be too big of a deal. Chapel. Yeah, so we'll load right here before we went down into the basement. That's weird, I've never had it crash right there. But nonetheless, moving on. Alright, and then in this room, we've got ghouls feeding on paladins. And if we pass a stealth check, we can sneak up on them.
I'm gone.
No match for
I won't
me.
let you hurt my friends.
So there is a trap in this room, so you gotta be careful with that. And not walk directly into it. But that'll save some of your Crusaders then. And then in this room, we find Irabeth strung up.
This will be
And then the Crusader she was in here with turns into a ghoul. And then Irabeth is clearly not in a good mental place after all of this. And she'll tell you that Staunton Vane is up ahead with Minago as well as Nulkaneth. And clearly it's a trap. And you can tell her to go meet Anivia at the camp. And then right through this door is the fight with Nulkaneth. So we're gonna heal up a bit.
interesting.
I am helpful,
We do
am I
it
not?
my way.
Search for the beauty with your heart.
Now we're gonna get
not
ahead
your
of this
eyes.
a little bit here and go ahead and cast protection from evil as well as our
Shelling
enemy
guides
dead.
me.
Playing soldiers?
Was going
How
to.
old are you? 8?
Darling, look who's here. It's the commander, come to return what he stole from you. It should have been you in command of this army. And these powers, they should have been yours. Oh, darling, why so sad? Oh, please, sweetheart, say something. When you're like this, it makes me sad too. You don't want me to be sad, do you? Come on, smile. I did everything you wanted, even better than you wanted. The fools who humiliated you got what they deserved. Can you hear them scream? And now their commander will be torn to pieces along with them. Oh, it's sure to be a fine show. Just for the two of us. And we have the best seats in the house.
This is too much. They deserve death, and what happened in Canabris was fair punishment. But this depraved torture... order your creature to finish them off, and we'll be done here.
Sweetie, don't tell me what to do. We were too soft on them, I think. Just remember the way they humiliated you. And for what? For your part in a heroic feat? And now they would take Dresden from you? Each of them deserves 100 deaths. The only thing unfair about this is that we can kill them only once. There now. Don't pout. Kiss me, my love, and let's enjoy the spectacle.
Hey! Hey! What are you looking at? Look at me! I'm right here! Do I need to bite your soldiers' heads off for you to notice me? I can do
Okay.
it, you know?
And then we have our fight with Nolk.
Who are you, anyway?
Test of my abilities.
Alright, so he's got a bunch of ghouls with him, and then there's him himself. So we're gonna cast protection from evil with So Seal, Hurricane Bow with her. Gonna cast shield on him. Emil's gonna go ahead and throw animate undead. And we'll get to you. Alright, then we're gonna have Sociopath's Prayer, which we accidentally interrupted his protection from evil then. So we got some ghouls behind us, but the Crusaders are joining in, so that's helpful. We're gonna have him cast another animate dead right there. Right. Okay.
A mere flesh wound.
Okay, and then there's this. But that's really annoying. The game stopped me with that event, but Nolkaneth kept attacking and then killed me during that little bit of dialogue. That was really dumb. And then it's gonna be right back here. Ugh. Game is not being cooperative right now. But we did just come up from the cellar after talking to Zacharias right there, so maybe this will go a little smoother. I would like to show you guys what happens after you fight Nolkaneth, and then kind of end it there.
Surrender or else!
Bathe in your blood!
There's something here.
I am helpful, am I not?
Okay.
I'm gone.
We'll skip through all this dialogue and get back to the fight with Nolkeneth here. Which I suppose we'll save right before we go in there that time. But that's a first. I mean, I've never had him actually keep attacking and then kill during that dialogue for whatever reason. We're having a lot of trouble with the Lost Chapel on this particular instance. Which is without a doubt the most trouble I've had here. Normally if I have a problem it's in Dresden, not here. Yeah, like even now the game's lagging up on me. Alright, well at least we saved it before it crashed that time. If I had to guess, it's probably not the game. Just where I'm streaming and things for several hours and it's pretty hot here. If I had to guess, my computer is probably starting to complain more so than the game. Okay. See if we can at least get through this fight first, though.
I am helpful, am I not? Wait.
Hey! Hey! What?
Alright, so because we were able to come up from the basement, Zacharias' undead will come help us out with the fight now. And there's a lot of them, and they will... Honestly, the amount of undead he brings to this fight will basically win the fight for you if you let them. Like, that dialogue keeps really messing me up.
There's something here.
Well, that's unfortunate. Looks like it crashed again. Alright guys, unfortunately the game doesn't want to cooperate, so I'm not going to keep fighting it. That said, at the end of the fight with Nolkeneth, what happens is you get your second mythic rank, and then you can continue on towards Dresden. But killing Nolkeneth is where we're going to drop it anyway. But there you go guys, hope you enjoyed the stream outside of the obvious problems at the end there. But otherwise I thought it was pretty fun. Hope you guys enjoy your day. Thank you so much for watching. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.